Welcome, explorer of the mind, to a journey through one of the most influential works in the history of psychology, Carl Gustav Jung's Psychology of the Unconscious. Today we take a look at Chapter 1, concerning the two kinds of thinking, a cornerstone of Jungian psychology, foundational to our understanding of consciousness. As William James, the father of American psychology, once said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes." Jung takes this idea further, suggesting that by understanding the very nature of our thinking, we can unlock the mysteries of the human psyche. Picture yourself in 1912, when this book was first published. Freud's psychoanalysis was revolutionizing our view of the mind, Picasso was shattering artistic conventions with Cubism, and Einstein was redefining our understanding of the universe with his theory of relativity. It was in this crucible of radical ideas that Jung emerged, offering a new lens through which to view the human psyche. In this chapter, Jung introduces us to two fundamental modes of thought, directed thinking and fantasy thinking. This dichotomy echoes the ancient Greek concept of logos and mythos, rational and mythical thought, two complementary ways of arriving at truth. Jung's directed thinking aligns with what Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman would later call System 2 in his book Thinking Fast and Slow, which is slow, deliberate, and logical. Fantasy thinking, on the other hand, resonates with what poet Federico García Lorca termed duende, a mysterious power that everyone feels, but no philosopher has explained. As we explore Jung's ideas, consider these questions. How does Jung's concept of fantasy thinking relate to what neuroscientist Marcus Raichle calls the default mode network of the brain? In what ways does Jung's work anticipate modern theories of cognitive linguistics, as proposed by George Lakoff and Mark Johnson in Metaphors We Live By? How might Jung's ideas about collective unconscious and archetypes inform our understanding of cultural universals, as studied by anthropologist Donald Brown? Jung's work is not merely theoretical. As mythologist Joseph Campbell, deeply influenced by Jung, said, "The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are." Understanding Jung's two kinds of thinking can be a key to unlocking your own self-understanding. Now let me introduce you to Irevelato, whose mission is to illuminate the ideas of history's greatest thinkers. I'm profoundly grateful for this opportunity to share these ideas with you. Your engagement allows us to continue this exploration of human thought and consciousness. If you find value in my videos, consider supporting Irevelato on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. As philosopher Seneca wisely noted, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Your support prepares us to create more opportunities for shared learning and growth. As we begin our reading of Jung's Psychology of the Unconscious, I'm reminded of T.S. Eliot's words, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." So let us begin our journey into the depths of the psyche, guided by the brilliant mind of Carl Gustav Jung. Prepare to see yourself and the world anew. It is a well-known fact that one of the principles of analytic psychology is that the dream images are to be understood symbolically. That is to say, that they are not to be taken literally just as they are presented in sleep, but that behind them a hidden meaning has to be surmised. It is this ancient idea of a dream symbolism which has challenged not only criticism, but in addition to that, the strongest opposition. The dreams may be full of import, and therefore something to be interpreted is certainly neither a strange nor an extraordinary idea. This has been familiar to mankind for thousands of years, and therefore seems much like a banal truth. The dream interpretations of the Egyptians and Chaldeans, and the story of Joseph who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, are known to everyone, and the dream book of Artemidorus is also familiar. From countless inscribed monuments of all times and peoples, we learn of foreboding dreams, of significant, of prophetic, and also of curative dreams which the deity sent to the sick, sleeping in the temple. We know the dream of the mother of Augustus, who dreamt she was to be with child by the deity, transformed into a snake. We will not heap up references and examples to bear witness to the existence of a belief in the symbolism of dreams. When an idea is so old and is so generally believed, it is probably true in some way, and indeed, as is mostly the case, is not literally true, but is true psychologically. In this distinction lies the reason why the old fogies of science have from time to time thrown away an inherited piece of ancient truth, because it was not literal, but psychologic truth. For such discrimination, this type of person has at no time had any comprehension. From our experience, it is hardly conceivable that a God existing outside of ourselves causes dreams, or that the dream, eo ipso, foresees the future prophetically. When we translate this into the psychologic, however, then the ancient theories sound much more reconcilable. Namely, the dream arises from a part of the mind unknown to us, but nonetheless important, and is concerned with the desires for the approaching day. This psychologic formula, derived from the ancient superstitious conception of dreams, is, so to speak, exactly identified with the Freudian psychology, which assumes a rising wish from the unconscious to be the source of the dream. As the old belief teaches, the deity or the demon speaks in symbolic speech to the sleeper, and the dream interpreter has the riddle to solve. In modern speech, we say this means that the dream is a series of images, which are apparently contradictory and nonsensical, but arise in reality from psychologic material which yields a clear meaning. Were I to suppose among my readers a far-reaching ignorance of dream analysis, then I should be obliged to illustrate this statement with numerous examples. Today, however, these things are quite well known, so that one must proceed carefully with everyday dream material, out of consideration for a public educated in these matters. It is a special inconvenience that no dream can be recounted without being obliged to add to it half a life's history, which affords the individual foundations of the dream. But there are some few typical dreams which can be told without too great a ballast. One of these is the dream of the sexual assault, which is especially prevalent among women. A girl sleeping after an evening happily spent in dancing dreams that a robber breaks open her door noisily and stabs through her body with a lance. This theme, which explains itself, has countless variations, some simple, some complicated. Instead of the lance, it is a sword, a dagger, a revolver, a gun, a cannon, a hydrant, a watering pot. Or the assault is a burglary, a pursuit, a robbery. Or it is someone hidden in the closet or under the bed. Or the danger may be illustrated by wild animals. For instance, a horse which throws the dreamer to the ground and kicks her in the body with his hind foot. Lions, tigers, elephants with threatening trunks. And finally, snakes in endless variety. Sometimes the snake creeps into the mouth. Sometimes it bites the breast like Cleopatra's legendary asp. Sometimes it comes in the role of the paradisical snake, or in the variations of Franz Stuck, whose pictures of snakes bear the significant titles Vice, Sin, Lust. The mixture of lust and anxiety is expressed incomparably in the very atmosphere of these pictures, and far more brutally indeed than in Moriki's charming poem. The maiden's first love song, What's in the Net? Behold, but I am afraid. Do I grasp a sweet eel? Do I seize a snake? Love is a blind fisherwoman. Tell the child where to seize. Already it leaps in my hands. Oh, pity or delight! With nestlings and turnings, it coils on my breast. It bites me. Oh, wonder! Boldly through the skin, it darts under my heart. Oh, love, I shudder. What can I do? What can I begin? That shuddering thing, there it crackles within, and coils in a ring. It must be poisoned. Here it crawls around. Blissfully I feel as it worms itself into my soul, and kills me, finally. All these things are simple, and need no explanation to be intelligible. Somewhat more complicated, but still unmistakable, is the dream of a woman. She sees the triumphal arch of Constantine. A cannon stands before it. To the right of it a bird, to the left a man. A shot flashes out of the tube. The projectile hits her. It goes into her pocket, into her purse. There it remains, and she holds her purse as if something very precious were in it. The image disappears, and she continues to see only the stock of the cannon, and over that Constantine's motto, In hoc signo vinces. These few references to the symbolic nature of dreams are perhaps sufficient. For whomsoever the proof may appear insufficient, and it is certainly insufficient for a beginner, further evidence may be found in the fundamental work of Freud, and in the works of Stekel and Rank, which are fuller in certain particulars. We must assume here that the dream symbolism is an established fact, in order to bring to our study a mind suitably prepared for an appreciation of this work. We would not be successful if we, on the contrary, were to be astonished at the idea that an intellectual image can be projected into our conscious psychic activity. An image which apparently obeys such wholly other laws and purposes than those governing the conscious psychic product. Why are dreams symbolic? Every why in psychology is divided into two separate questions. First, for what purpose are dreams symbolic? We will answer this question only to abandon it at once. Dreams are symbolic in order that they cannot be understood, in order that the wish, which is the source of the dream, may remain unknown. The question why this is so and not otherwise leads us out into the far-reaching experiences and trains of thought of the Freudian psychology. Here the second question interests us, viz., how is it that dreams are symbolic? That is to say, from where does this capacity for symbolic representation come, of which we in our conscious daily life can discover apparently no traces? Let us examine this more closely. Can we really discover nothing symbolic in our everyday thought? Let us follow our trains of thought. Let us take an example.